Thank you, Max, for the pleasant introduction. My mother is here, but more because she is bored, not because I need my mom with me holding my hand. Okay, so my name is Tiffany-1, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about my life, right? Basically, Dr. Max has just asked me to share some of my life experiences with you. Some of you are going overseas soon, right? So he was just thinking that maybe I could just share my story. So not saying that you'll have the same exact experiences as me, but at least it might give you an idea. Okay, so first I want to ask, how many of you have friends or family who have lived overseas or studied abroad? Okay, so not many of you. Am I talking too fast? Do you understand me? Yeah. Okay, good. If you don't, just, I don't know, wave your hand or something.
You can translate briefly in Mandarin if you like.
Do you need me to? Can you guys understand me? Yes? No? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just get started. Okay. So, first, I want you to look at me, observe me, okay? I have obviously blonde hair. I speak English. What does that make you think of me? You have a piece of paper. I would like you guys just to write down anything, okay? From your first impression of me right now, speaking English to you, how do you feel about me? Are you like nervous? If you were to see me on the streets, would you talk to me? Or would you be like, oh, whatever, right? Like, I don't know what's going on in your heads. So I would like you guys just to write it down. Okay. Now, if I were to add on to that and say, hi, my name is Tiffany. I have 3 passports. I'm a citizen of 3 different countries. How do you feel? I really want you to write down. Okay.
所以要他们现在先写嘛。
Yeah， 就一边讲一边写。Okay.
所以就是刚刚那个 Tiffany 兄刚刚做，就是说，就你们不认识他现在从他的外表、发色、造型、讲话方式，写下你们对他的第一眼印象是什么？任何的第一眼印象 ，OK， 快速的写下第一眼印象，在他告诉你更多关于他的人生故事之前，你们先快速的写下，哎，今天看到 Tiffany 就是这样子，然后哎这样子的造型、讲话的方式、这样的发色，你们对他的第一眼印象会是说，哎，这个人有没有距离感？还是说，哎，我在路上如果看到 Tiffany， 我敢跟他讲话吗？还是说他给我的印象是什么？哎，感觉上很嚣张、很臭屁，感觉上哇，好像那个是我自己讲。
Okay, so. But add to that now that you know I have 3 passports, okay? How does that make you feel about my background, my family, my parents? And we will come back to that, okay? So I was born in the United States, in California. I am what they call a natural born citizen. So in America, there's a couple different types of citizens. Some people eventually get a green card and they become a citizen. But because I was born on US soil, I could one day run for president if I wanted to. Now, I have American friends who have American parents, live their entire lives in America, but because they were born in China, born somewhere else that's not America, they could not run for president, even though they are American, right? So imagine that, me being this Asian person, I could go and run for president. It's a bit strange, okay? Now, when my parents first went to the United States, they went for grad school. So while they were studying, they had both me and my brother, my older brother. And at that time, in 1987, America was still quite discriminatory. So in the parks, my mom told me they had signs that would say no skateboarding, no bicycling, and no Chinese people. So you can imagine the environment that she had to study under, which is very different than my experience, okay? And then a couple years later, when I was 2 years old, my family then immigrated to New Zealand. The year that I was born, in 1987, New Zealand had just passed a new immigration law, which basically allowed for non-white people to immigrate to New Zealand. So prior to 1987, before 1987, New Zealand would have immigrants, but they were usually English, from Ireland. They were white, blonde hair, blue-eyed people. Now, even though they had opened it up to non-white people, they were still quite strict about who they would allow in. So when my parents went, they had to show proof that they had money, a lot of money, that they would bring the money to New Zealand. And other people would have to show that they either were able to open a business, they had to show that they were highly educated, right? So New Zealand wasn't just letting anyone in, they were letting chosen immigrants in. So that is the New Zealand that I grew up in. 5 years later, my whole family got citizenship. Okay, so that is where my second passport comes from. But when I was obviously growing up there, because I was a baby, I didn't know any English. I grew up at home, so with my mom, I would speak Chinese, and with my dad, I would speak Taiwanese, sort of. And then I went to kindergarten with no English.